Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is definitely the first time I'm recording this. Um, I did not record this halfway through and double checked and found out that my audio was way too quiet. Um, but welcome to a little director's commentary I'm doing for Yuri versus Mikan. Uh, I don't really have a strong reason for doing this. I just wanted to talk about some stuff in Yuri vs. Mikan that I hadn't gotten to, and I asked a couple of my friends if this was like a good idea or if I would come off as like, ooh, look at how fucking cool this thing I made is. Look at how fucking awesome I am for doing this. And the answer is no. So I decided, let's give it a shot. Why not? Let's have some fun. And I stole that from Rocco. Sorry, Rocco, if you're watching. But yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to sit down, kind of go through Yuri vs. Mikan, talk about some of the shit that we did, and give shout out to some people and mention some things that I haven't gotten the chance to do publicly yet. And I thought this would be a cute little way to do it. So let's just get into it. That content warning from Rabbi was supposed to stay up for like way longer than it did on screen.
Yuri.
I still don't. Okay, so Rabbi put this final comp together. Shout out to him. He said that he put a vignette over this. I do not see it. I'll be so honest with you. I could be crazy. I also am pretty sure I used a lower res image in the front here than the back, and that I might have wanted to switch these, so no, I think it makes more sense that they're both facing inside. Never mind. This is a good title card. Good job, May.
Mikan Tsumiki.
And here's Mikan's title card. Dan made this. Because I wanted everyone to have the little ERB style title card. We'll talk about that more when Atsuki shows up. But I wanted everyone to have a little ERB style title card, but Dan already edited a Hiyoko title card that was like this, and we didn't have time. Or he didn't feel like it, I guess. So we stuck to this.
Begin.
We built sandcastles, though it always ends the same.
That line is just the sandcastle line, obvious, kind of an obvious rip from not fucking Danganronpa. What am I saying? I'm going crazy, guys. From DDLC. It's a rip from DDLC where she writes the poem about sandcastles.
We built sandcastles, though it always ends the same. So
like that first line. Pretty much a straight up rip.
each setting won't change the ending.
A little bounce effect, a little lighting there. I gotta get better at that. This is my edit, in case you couldn't tell. Little rhyme scheme there. Ethan was telling me how that rhyme scheme doesn't work perfectly, and I think he's right. But at the time, I think this is the best I could do with my ability.
You can write, then go ahead and prove it.
These first two verses are pretty what you expect. Pretty typical Danganronpa battle, pretty typical DDLC battle. Do want to give a shout out to May for this Yuri voice. I think is my favorite Yuri voice I've seen in a battle. Definitely biased, but it's a different direction from what KC, I don't know if that's what they go by currently, but that's different from what Casey did for Dustin, and I think a lot closer where it's a lot more it's a bit less deep, but it's a more collected calm voice instead of more the shaky kind of moody I guess voice that Casey occasionally did for Dustin and in other Yuri battles. Fox is so great. Fox did such a great Mikan. I heard them do Osaka and Angie, and I wanted to test it, and they did great. Mikan's written in a very interesting way. Mikan's a very interesting character to write because the way I wrote her is just pretty much she never really means any of the mean shit she says. It all comes out as like little blanket statements. Especially this line, which so many comments have told me is great, which I do agree. It's kind of a crazy ass line, and it's kind of worded hilariously for Mikan. Also, you may hear some people in the background every now and then. I live on my college campus, and sometimes people roughhouse. I live on the lacrosse floor. This visual is kind of a Scotland Yard, I won't lie. Actually, fuck, I forgot to talk about this. This visual is kind of a Scotland Yard, to be honest, and I take blame for that. I didn't really know how to show what I was talking about because I wanted it to look like a more dramatic moment where Mikan's like going through the DDLC scenes. But let's talk about this little detail here that I did in the subtitles that I thought was fun. Yeah, every time they say Monica, the subtitles glitch. And I thought that's just a cute little fun detail that I did last second. And I was like, you know what, let's have some fun. But yeah, I spent the first two verses, or the first three verses, I guess, technically, with Yuri's upcoming little thing here, just focusing on it being a pretty solid battle, getting a good foot off the ground. Then we get to the fun part.
It's amazing how a story can do so much with its concept.
Another line ripped from DDLC with like, I'll talk about it a little more in depth. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm very like detail oriented, so I love talking about all these little references here. But it's amazing how a story can do so much with its concept. Is also another thing I lifted from DDLC, where it's originally Yuri talking about her book in Act 1, where she's like, isn't it crazy how an author can throw you for a turn? And she repeats that line in Act 2 in DDLC, and it's kind of a tip off to the player that like, oh, get it? We're talking about DDLC here, and how crazy it is that it's a totally different thing than what you expect. And another reason I use it is because that's exactly what happens here, is that it ends up not being Yuri vs. Mikan, or at least, you know, not what you expect out of it. Dan's edit is here. You can see because it is lit so much fucking better than my edit.
Amazing how a story can do so much with its concept. So forgive me for disliking how the sequel.
I gotta blur my backgrounds more often.
Its theme and story bored me. The dialogue was corny. All of it added to an experience more lifeless than Sayori.
Nice glitch effect. Says Yuri there, smiley face. Another fun, you know, just a little nod in the subtitles that I did. Ooh, that voice crack. Yeah, another fun little nod in the subtitles I did there for myself. Having a little fun. And it does make sense in the context of the story, because as you maybe picked up, this is all Monica's doing.
Yuri,
So yeah, let's talk about why Natsuki and the other person who show up.
it's not a real person.
I talked about this with a couple people when we were talking about this battle. I think, yeah, little, like, there's a lot of little lines where, like, it's nothing crazy, but it's just, like, I like my character writing in this, where Natsuki's like, that's not a real person, when they are referring to Sayori, because, you know, obviously, that all just happened. That just happened, but yeah, sorry. I cannot be left to my own devices sometimes. But let's go back to the start, and we'll get back to the Yuri versus the Natsuki section, but I'm going to talk in the background for a bit. We're going to even quiet this down a bit and talk about why Natsuki and Hiyoko shows up and why everything happens. I originally pitched this matchup as a view whore thing that DRB could do, because I was like, man, I want views. I want money. What can we make? Because it was around the time the Mr. Beast thing was happening, and I was like, damn, I want to go viral. That sounds fun. So I came up with Yuri vs. Mikan as a matchup, and quickly decided I did not want to just make Yuri vs. Mikan. So I cooked up a little plot here, as you see, and I went through a couple of revisions for it. Originally, Yuri was going to be the killer at the very end, as it was like lining up. Originally, MC and Hajime were going to be here in place of Natsuki and Hiyoko, but you know, who needs another Hajime appearance? And there was also, yeah, there's just a couple different like little writing things. I ended up going with Natsuki versus Hiyoko because I think it's a more interesting character dynamic that we end up getting from them. And now we're back. That was pretty quick. You see, yeah, I came up with a little concept to try not to do that. And I like that. And I want to do more stuff like this in the future because this is fun for me. Shout out to Mary. They were supposed to play Komaru for me. But they were having some trouble with rapping, so we gave them a way easier character to handle. Oh, not a pretty frame to pause on. But yeah, Hiyoko finishes her little drop it line here, which, that's so fucked up, man. You said that about your friend who is dead? Well, you don't know it's dead. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this all plays into canon, you know? I haven't thought that far ahead. I have that far ahead. Anyway. And we get Hiyoko, which is the verse that everyone goes back to, as you can clearly see here. But let's talk about the beat for a second. Every character, at least during Act 1, which is what I call the Yuri vs. Mikan section here, before the Sayori glitch, that's Act 1, kind of your typical battle. Act 2 is Natsuki and Hiyoko, where we introduce the new characters, and Act 3 is where everyone is there and doing their thing. So let's talk about the beat for a second, because Patrick did such an amazing job. You can hear pianos here. This is from the default beat from King EF, so we just singled it out to give it a more Yuri vibe. But this violin here is a Patrick original, baby. He added that, and he added a lot of other bits to the beat that we'll quickly talk about here. I don't want to spend too much time on this. You have the heartbeat and heart monitor here for Mikan.
And I guess it makes sense that you couldn't carry a verse with such a broken back. I'm so sorry. I'll make sure that this checkup's quick.
The original instrument, the that I think we thought fits Mikan the most, and so we gave that to Mikan in her little section here. Let's skip ahead a bit here. Here you can hear the heart monitor beep go into double time as she gets more intense. Going back to the default beat for a second, for this little thing to make it build up. Natsuki has a little xylophone.
On your own, you're worthless. And I thought the K3 lady would be crazy, but I got this. God, this might get bookie the way I'm about to drop it. Traditional dancer.
And then Hiyoko, originally me and Patrick wanted to go with something obviously traditional music sounding, but we couldn't come up with anything good. We didn't find any good instruments, and eventually Patrick, while I was going out to eat for lunch, he came up with the idea that there's a scene in Danganronpa 2 where Hiyoko, Chiaki, and Ibuki are doing a little concert for the rest of the gang, and they have this like hard rock concert. So what if we just gave this to Hiyoko? And it makes sense because it's such a hype up part of the battle where the beat is going more crazy and the flow is way faster. A lot of people say I wrote Hiyoko to be the winner. Didn't mean to, but I totally get why you would think that. I gave her a lot of the best parts here. I'm pretty proud of writing this. At the time, this was so difficult for me to write this kind of flow. And honestly, I haven't tried it again, so it could still be that difficult. So Dan, a bit of a little mistake there. Not necessarily a mistake, but more of an unintentional thing there. So you see the spear hit Kamaida. That isn't what that's referencing. We're referencing after Kate, or at least I'm referencing after case 1 where he's tied up by the gang for being dangerous. Because what happens with the spear there happens long after Hiyoko dies. Spoiler alert. Love that there's that little little cursor thing. Dan's a great editor. He's worked so hard. That little ad lib there was improv. Literally just told the VAs I don't think any other VAs ad libs made it in, unfortunately, because most of them don't really work for this, except outside of Hiyoko, who we had a very fun little session with this character because it's a very fun character. But yeah.
It shouldn't mean you do anything but stop its pace. So being put to sleep's the only way you can get to Hajime. It's not fair, not fair.
And you hear the beat speed up here and change keys, and now we're in Act 3. And the beat will do that again in Act 3, and I'll point that out when we get there.
You get to belittle me.
Not fair, not fair. Obviously, just by the way, a reference to the game. If you don't know that quote from Mikan.
With that goes for you, the shortest temper I've ever seen.
Forget who's your opponent. Too ditzy.
And yeah, now we kind of see all these characters going at each other, because I think part of my pitch was that these characters wouldn't really work with each other all that well, which is why Hiyoko ends up Hiyoko can't help it. She makes fun of Mikan, and that's kind of what sets off the rest of the battle from here. One thing I would change about this in retrospect, and one thing that I think I wanted to do, was spend more time with the characters going against each other but still as teammates. So I wanted to have Hiyoko and Yuri team up against Mikan and Natsuki, and it would be an interesting twist to see the characters root for the person on the other side, or work with the person on the other side, against their counterpart. But we didn't really explore that as much as we wanted to. And that's one of the things that I think could be improved on from this. May's performance is so great. I think she has the hardest job here with this character, because it's a very intense and like character. It's very hard to play.
So much anger here and I thought Natsuki's neck was snappy. Good malnutrition, you and that brat should both eat your words. Hey, I thought I was...
So yeah, so Natsuki says, hey, I thought I was, because originally we were going to spend more time with Natsuki working with Mikan, and that's why she was, what she would say here is, I thought we were on the same side.
Maybe wait your fucking turn.
Oh yeah, there's a little character order here of like, I did a little, Mikan, Yuri, Natsuki, Hiyoko, Mikan, and then Natsuki jumps in again, and that's why Yuri says that. I don't think Yuri's keeping track, but I think it's a fun little bonus nod if you're paying attention.
Tsumiki, you're a nurse. Go stop Doki Doki's flat.
Two things about this line. First off, I love the shot of Mikan just bugging out. She's not handling this too well. But I think this line I accidentally took from Raisu, who was making a Mikan battle, and I listened to the demo. I thought it was pretty good. I thought there was some stuff I could do differently with Mikan's character, but I do remember a Flatlines line with the nurse and everything, obviously. It's so obvious to the point where I wonder if it's actually plagiarism or if it's just like, it's such an obvious line I could make. But, I will give credit to Raisu just in case.
Picked up for banana hair.
Natsuki, for the last time. No matter what I do, you always...
Rabi does that transition a lot where it just fades into something else. The characters kind of like phase out of reality. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah.
Getting between it with MC and my love, and now my fight with this bitch.
That line was very difficult to record just because, with the voice that we had picked for Yuri, the VA wasn't really used to doing this, and especially later on, the more she kind of gets into it, Yuri's again, I think Yuri most impressive performance out of this whole thing.
I was just joking. Damn Natsuki, when will you learn? I'll stop and crush a stupid worm.
Fun little glitch effect. Oh yeah, something I forgot to talk about is that I've gotten a bit of criticism, more so when I posted the original demo than now, but that Natsuki shouldn't be like this and doesn't work like this as a character, and that she wouldn't be kind of like trying to stop the conflict, or she wouldn't be as like, oh no, what's going on here, gang? But to that I say, and the way I've kind of written Natsuki later on here, it's based on the end of Act 2, I think it is, when Yuri's gone complete bug fucking crazy. And we see Natsuki write a letter to MC being like, hey, don't tell Yuri, but like, what's going on with her? I want my friend back. I don't know what's going on anymore. And honestly, I'm just a little scared. That to me, I thought was a really good bit of character writing that flips Natsuki's character so well, and that I wanted to portray that in here. And it's pretty much what she's doing for the rest of this battle, where Mikan and Yuri are respectively getting more and more crazed up, and Hiyoko is just fucking pushing everyone to be angry and angrier. Kind of a cheesy line, but, I think it works for her meltdown.
Get to the point, the sharp edge we're approaching.
Wait, Yuri, something's wrong.
Natsuki, if you don't shut the fuck up!
I think that's Patrick's idea, to have Yuri, instead of even trying to rhyme anymore, she just says, like, shut the fuck up! Fucking, again, love the characters in the background, just like, whoa, dude! Or Mikan's just more going insane right here.
Yuri, stop, listen to yourself.
Oh yeah, forgot to mention, when Yuri has her first little thing here, that's when the beat increases BPM, increases speed and key changes again.
Natsuki, for the last time.
Yeah, when she says Natsuki for the last time, you can kind of hear it in the background there.
You always get in between it with...
So let's skip ahead again. Oh yeah, there's a little... Actually, let's go back to talk about the instruments again.
No matter what I do.
Hey, I thought I was...
Natsuki, maybe wait
You can hear a little, yeah, you can hear a little pluck there that Patrick plays. The little like string pluck. I think it's out of key on purpose to kind of throw you off.
Natsuki, for the last time. No matter what I do, you always get in between it. With MC and my love, and now my fight with this bitch.
I was just joking.
And then we have strings kind of leading to like this big dramatic moment of, you know, how is this all gonna go down here? Sorry. Shout out to Dan and Ravi, by the way, for editing another DDLC Danganronpa battle. Also love all the little character expressions in the background.
Natsuki, if you don't shut the fuck up!
Yuri, stop listening.
And then here it slows back down. Same with the key. Drops to what it was before during these lines. This was all. I think this was the ending I was way more happy with. Oh, didn't even notice that glitch there.
The end of your life.
I like having the subtitles like appear one word at a time. Evan taught me that is a cool effect, and I agree. But yeah, I think this makes way more sense as an ending than Yuri just like going for it. Yuri just going for it. It's way more interesting with Mikan to have her, you know, freak the fuck out. Just go for it.
As my knife sends a slice.
There we go.
Oh my god. Oh my god, no, I need to get out of here.
Obviously just taken from DDLC, end of Act 2 or beginning of Act 3 even, where Natsuki just can't take it, throws up. Originally you saw the throw up sprite, but I think me and Rabi agreed that looked gross and we didn't like it. So you see it, but yeah. Shout out to Mary again. Kind of a weird thing to kind of act out, but they did really well with this. My only other regret with this battle, other than not spending more time with the characters, is that the scene's kind of awkward, and it's because there's nothing in the background here. I think this worked better if there was a slowed, creepy version of the beat, like in DDLC. That's kind of my only other regret with this.
Mikan? What the hell did you just do? I made her stop.
Love this little
She can't
character
hurt anyone
moment
now?
for Mikan. Feels so right for me. Fox, crazy ass performance. Someone pointed out to me that body discovery doesn't happen until 3 people are there, and to that I have said there is a third person there. You don't know who, but there is a third person there. If you can't already tell, and if you're still listening this far ahead, I will let you in on a little something. It's Monica. We don't see her there, but Monica is there, present, and that's why body discovery happens. That will all be explained so fucking far in the future. We're talking more than like a year, maybe 2 years from now. That will pay off. Wink, wink.
A body has been discovered.
And there we go. That little ending there, as Fox laughs us out.
Who's next? Who
Great insane laugh.
asked?
That little last one there is, I think, an older laugh that Glitch stitched on, and that's why it comes off a little unnatural, I think. But still pretty good.
Stay tuned for the next bad idea rap battle.
Last thing I want to point out. You might have noticed it there, is that I placed a little something in this little outro here that you may or may not have okay, I just gotta try to frame pause on the right frame. Alright, I'll go frame by frame from here. But yeah, I placed a little something extra here. At the ending, as everything's glitching out. Obviously, a little glitch out ending makes sense. There it is. It says more DR battles ? And that was supposed to hint to the saga. And I think only one commenter caught that. Whoopsie. But yeah, I totally understand why most people like wouldn't pause here or wouldn't even see this. This stays up for like who knows how many frames. See, it's already gone. This credits with this fucking stock bleed that I found that looks pretty good. Doesn't work super well for all colors, I'll be honest with you, but you know, it is what it is. Shout out to all the VAs. All performances in this are absolutely amazing. They kind of carry this thing, I'll be honest. This battle would not be what it is without the performances and the beat. Which, shout out to Patrick. This was such a flashbang when I was editing this at night. That like white ass screen fading away. Speaking of white ass, hey Carrick, there's his name there. Thanks for watching. But yeah, I think that's all for my little director's commentary there. Hope you all enjoyed that. I want to bring Fantano back to do more stuff more often. I just recorded a podcast with Eddie that should be going up anytime soon. Hopefully, maybe this week. Who knows? Maybe I'm productive enough. I recorded it yesterday night as of me doing this. I'm not going to edit this, probably. This is probably just going to go up as like, what, 25-minute video? Just straight up. So yeah, enjoy that. And yeah, hope you all enjoy this. More Fantano content to come soon, hopefully. Yeah, have a good rest of your day, gang. Happy rap battle.